today, and maybe not today, maybe yesterday, but definitely still is today, is at an all-time high.
True.
And there's a lot of fear that's trying to give itself under the guise of being smart faith, right? Right?
Really,
There's a lot of worry trying to live under the guise of wisdom. And I'll be honest with y'all while we're talking about this. You know, I battled in my mind about a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure we all did too. About what should be done, what shouldn't be done. And I'm letting everybody do what they do. I think the powers that be are only doing what powers that can be from them. And so they say the things, say the things, not knocking what they're doing, say the things, but I cannot allow the powers that be to be my power.
Right.
Absolutely.
That definitely needs to be said.
True.
Make sense?
True story. Yeah.
Yeah, I cannot allow, because if I do that, then everything that is said becomes what I believe. And nothing is really real to you until you believe it.
Yep.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so I think today to speak to fear, you know, the Bible, the Lord is not giving us a spirit of fear, but a love, power, and a sound mind. People think spirit of fear is a spirit floating around and jumping on people. I don't think it's that. I think it's actually people. I think the spirit of fear is people. And I think it's allowing yourself to believe something. You know, what I picked up today, and y'all can kind of talk about what I picked up the most out of this particular time, and it's only going to get more clear, is that people really, there is a really lacking of knowing I'm one with God. Even more so in the church.
That was my first thing, especially when churches, before they said you couldn't gather in a crowd, people were already shutting their churches down.
Right.
Yep.
And to me,
Correct.
my first thought was, well, where should the people go if you can't go to church?
Right.
It's like I get it, but then I don't get it.
Right.
Because what have we been talking about for the last 2,000
Thousands
years?
and thousands.
I know.
Right. Well, I actually.
What do we really believe? Because what if this was worse than flu symptoms? And what if people were like dropping dead? Then what do the church people do? Y'all
we
hide
still
and
do
lock
the
y'all
same thing.
closets
We do
too?
the same thing. Go home.
Lock yourself in the closet?
Go home and hide
yeah.
from the airborne thing.
And then after it's over, come back out and proclaim ye the gospel.
Yeah, like what have we been doing?
I heard a preacher today say from his live stream, and oh God, mantra.
It is what it is, bro. He said on his live stream.
But he didn't even need the
It's
live
already
stream.
out
So he said it, so it's cool.
But he didn't even fall under the criteria to live stream. Like he didn't have.
Oh, bro.
Okay.
He could have had church.
Yeah. I mean, it's like being at home with your family. So, and I know
my
this.
God.
No disrespect at all. It's the truth though.
It's a true story.
And the first statement was that let me try to say it without it was talking about fear and his worry, and so we're trying to help. But I was like, no service. Why are we not doing this? Okay, we're being smart. No, I think
We being scared.
I think it's a little nervousness, right? And I understand it because it's such a mass mind. One of the things that I learned about the media, and I want to say this very, very clear, is media is money. So media's number one thing is not to inform you, is to increase their sales. Don't ever forget this. In life, a lot of times, nobody ever follows the money. So we take things for face value. But the more eyes are there, the more capability to jack up,
Sales.
you know, rates and sales and different things of that nature.
Yeah.
Although a lot of that stuff is planned out way ahead of time, it always looks good for your numbers for the next round, the next re-up.
Right.
Ratings, numbers.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so it only makes sense to tell us how many people died and not how many recovered.
All right.
Yeah, we had to hunt for those numbers.
You got to go look for
When
them.
I really
All
started
different-
to see
all
the
different-
numbers,
Yep.
it wasn't like they were saying on the news.
Or
at
different
all.
vigilantes, you know, Twitter vigilantes go do research and then start saying stuff on their own. You know, or we don't see. Today I was looking at the thing about China. I try to send it in groups or whatever. They was like, you know, they were saying, you know, kudos to the Chinese medical workers, and they was clapping for them because they dropped from 15,000 a day or whatever casualties, or not casualties, but occurrences to like 15 in a week or something like that a day. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Come on. I need you to report this. I need you to report these things because what you're reporting to me develops fear. Maybe not in me personally because I know your games, but fear in so many other people that don't know.
Yeah. And for how long? We went a really, really long time not knowing that it was elderly people or people with already chronic illnesses. Who were
Or illness challenged. And it's not just elderly, too. That's another thing because the reports, the people that I've been seeing, I was talking to my mother the other day, the people that I've been seeing that reports that they healed up in a day or so, had a little cough, but then it went away, was people that's quote-unquote elderly. What's elderly? 60 plus?
Yeah.
65,
right?
yeah.
Well, I mean, those
people.
were the people reported to be having a deadly situation afterwards.
Right.
Passed away.
I also do, they started saying about basketball players, they say Rudy Gobert first and then Donovan. I really want to see if they're going to go back and report the day that they testing is not there. Because if they do not.
Thousands of people have recovered.
Right.
40,000, 50,000, I can't remember the number.
But, if they do not report it, then I see the.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see the point I'm trying to make. And another thing too, I said today that nobody's talking about health at all. Like they say, wash your hands, sanitize, which both things you have to go to the store to buy something. And not that you don't have to go to the store to buy stuff for health, but health is prolonging you from having to do all the other little small things. Which I always wonder if I had to wash my hands more now, what was I doing before?
Right.
Yeah.
Right? I got emails from Chipotle, Macy's, everybody, and they was like, we're doing our best to make sure. And I was like, well, what was y'all doing last waiter? What was y'all doing? I'm not even going to shout on them because I need to get these doors. I'm just playing. What were y'all doing?
We take it back.
What were y'all
This
doing?
segment of Redin30 is brought to you by.
Waiter, wash those dirty hands in the name of Jesus. Right. But what were you doing last week when y'all dropped my food off? Okay, that's another conversation. So, but we're here, and I think that I just want us to speak to it for a couple moments from a Jesus perspective, because what I did today, I am a social media guy. So, as much as people like to fast from social media and say it's messing with your mind and everything, I be in the mix. I be in the water because I know who I am with God, and even things that may make me think differently challenges my oneness with God, which makes me even go deeper. Y'all get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the fight makes you stronger.
Yeah.
And so, I'm seeing them. I'm seeing the jokes. I'm seeing the statements. I'm seeing the fears. I'm seeing the carelessness. I'm seeing all of it together. But all of it, mostly, I'm seeing the fear. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's the underlying thing.
It's the underlying thing. I'm not saying don't use wisdom. I'm not about to be outside doing crazy. You know what I'm saying? But the fear.
Right.
And I just think it was when we were talking the other day, and you kind of said you need to talk about fear, and I really believe so because it took me today and said, like WWJD never meant more to me than now. And I almost want to go. Somebody gonna try to take this. I almost want to go from It may not be good letters though, but I almost want to go from WWJD like what would Jesus do to who would Jesus be? You get what I'm saying? Like what?
I love it.
How would Jesus think? Right? Like what is his perspective? What would he tell me to do? Right? Now, you can come up with several different things, not because Jesus was doing it all kind of ways, spitting in dirt. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But what would he tell me in this moment? How would he tell me to be?
One of the main things is you go back to, and I'm thinking of a few stories, but on the ship, and when things got crazy for them, like they thought they were going to die. I know we tell a story like it was a regular little storm and the wind was blowing. No, like they thought, they was like, you don't care if we all die right now?
They said they were taking in water.
Like they were about to go down.
The way they described it was a tempest in the sea, and I had to look it up, and it was like an earthquake, which is where waves come from anyway, like the plates but that's another story.
Yeah.
But they were taking in water, they said.
Yeah, so for him to be asleep, for Jesus to be asleep,
in the mist.
we don't talk about him being asleep.
That I like about that story is that even though the boat was filling up with water, that didn't wake him up. It's the disciples had to wake him up.
Bruh, and you sleep real good when the weather bad. Like he was knocked out.
He was knocked out, and they said he was sleeping.
Bruh.
They said he sleep, and they said they were so afraid. Y'all know the story. Go to the story. And they said they were afraid, so they woke him up. And then they asked him a question. Now, mind you, they are there with him because he brought them there. Mm-hmm. They're not there on their own accord. Mm-hmm. And one of the things he said before on different occurrences in different gospels, which the gospels are, by the way, different perspectives of the same story. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
cool,
yeah.
right? He says, let us go to the other side.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So he's pretty sure
they're gonna go to the other side.
Yeah. He knew that's why he was asleep.
Yep.
You get it?
Regardless.
Regardless, right.
And can you imagine all the work you have to do to try to stay afloat, like when things are going bad? I can imagine them being like, "Well, he's not even helping us." Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like they probably try to tie things together,
Yeah,
put stuff up.
Yeah, throwing stuff overboard.
Yeah,
Hey,
all of
sound
that.
Why he not helping us get this water out this boat?
Sound like good Christianity to me.
Yeah.
Sounds like Jesus help us.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus
Why
help
you
yourself.
helping us?
Why, we do you not care that we perish?
Mm-hmm.
I'm drowning, right? And it's one of those things where we're calling on the name of Jesus the wrong way. We're calling the guy to come and help, to do something spiritual or come and help. When in actuality, we have been helped.
Yeah.
And he is living in us, through us, and that we should be the same thing. The cure to fear is being.
Yeah.
Not just being anything, but being one with God.